back to Down the Track. In this episode, we'll be doing the player ratings for the KKR versus SRH match. Kolkata Knight Riders defeating the Sunrisers of Hyderabad by 10 runs. In the end, it looked like a close contest, and it was. But, KKR were in the driver's seat for most of the game. But a late flurry from Abdul Samad got SRH back, and Bairstow and Pandey also had a good partnership. But in the end, it was Rana's innings, which was the difference, a blistering innings. So let's kick on with the ratings. We'll rate the KKR team first, and then we'll move to the Sunrisers Hyderabad. KKR opening batsman, Nitesh Rana, 10 out of 10. I think superb performance. 80 of 56 balls, 4 sixes, 9 fours. I know, in the context of the game, I think it was a 10 on 10 performance. He batted beautifully. Very aggressive. I think the way he handled Rashid was good. He didn't try to hit him too much, worked him around, and then targeted the other bowlers. He played Bhuvneshwar Kumar beautifully as well. His timing was crisp. Sensational batting, I think. And, in the context of the game, his innings made the difference. 80 of 56 deliveries. So I'm going to give him a 10 on 10. Performance, and deservedly man of the match. Moving on to Shubman Gill, be a bit harsh on him. I think 4 out of 10, because I think there wasn't much need to go for that shot against Rashid Khan. If he just stood there and anchored the innings with Rana going hammer and togs on the other end, I think would have been a really good partnership. But a bit harsh, but he learned from that, I think, Shubman Gill. But it's good to see that Rana is going to play the aggressive role, so Gill now knows his role. He doesn't really need to go for rash shots. He can play the anchor role. So I'm going to give him 4 out of 10 for this performance. And then moving on to Rahul Tripathi, 53 of 29 balls, a wonderful innings. I think his partnership with Rana was just absolutely stunning. He shows that, with Tripathi, he hasn't had a consistent role in the batting order. He's been floating up and down, but I think with the new ball in the power play, that's where he does best. And today he came one down, and I think he batted beautifully. Even when the field spread, he was finding the gaps, finding the boundaries, timing the ball beautifully as well. And all credit to him, the way he played, I think. Excellent batting, both on the back foot and the front foot. So Tripathi, I'm going to give him 9 out of 10 for his performance. And then moving on to Andre Russell, with the bat, he couldn't have the impact, unfortunately. If he clicked, KKR would have gone 200 plus. I think it's, that's something KKR have to look at. Russell, if he can click, it'll change their whole complex of their team. I think it'll help them so much. They won this game, but if they did lose, the Russell's contribution with the bat would have been questioned. So I'm going to give him 5 on 10, but because with the ball, I think he was decent in the death. He showed his experience. He got hit a bit, but he picked up a crucial wicket of Shankar, and then he bowled the last over calmly and made sure there was no issue. So I'll give him an extra point for that. 5 on 10 for Russell. Moving on to Morgan, again. Didn't have too much time with the bat. Could have hit a few boundaries here and there, but he got out 2 of 3 balls. But I'm going to give him a 5 on 10, just based on his captaincy. I think he handles his situation. His captaincy was way better than his batting, but to balance it out, if his batting was low rating, I think his captaincy made up for that kind of. So bang on 5 overall, because I think captaincy is a key part as well. And he handled his bowlers really well. Field placements were spot on. He kept that cow corner there, making sure if they do swing in that area, there it'll only go for a single double. So I think the field placement was smart. His bowling changes were brilliant. The way he kept Russell in the death, that was also very smart. So Captain Morgan, 5 on 10 for his overall performance. Then moving on to Dinesh Karthik, I think his innings was key as well. I know Rana got more runs and deservedly man of the match, but without Dinesh Karthik's contribution, would KKR have won? 22 of 9 deliveries. He finished off the innings wonderfully. Took them to close to 190. Otherwise, maybe 170, and the innings would have been done. So it's a very key contribution there. That's what I'm going to give Dinesh Karthik 8 out of 10. Moving on to Saqib Al Hasan, again, not much time with the bat, only 3 or 5. He came in the end overs, but I think with the ball, he bowled really well, and the power play is very accurate. He didn't give too much room to the Sunrisers batsmen, and that's why I think he was a really good selection. It was between him and Narayan, but he's shown that with the ball he can be accurate. So for 8.5 economy, 1 wicket. He got the wicket of Saha as well. So I'm going to give Saqib a 6 out of 10 for his performance. Moving on to Cummins. Cummins got hit a bit in the end by Abdul Samad, but he got the big wicket of Bairstow. It was match changing. I think Bairstow's wicket was the defining moment at that time, because he was going all guns blazing. If Bairstow stayed till the end, I think Sunrisers would have won the game. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to give Cummins 7 out of 10. I think he bowled well with initially as well. In the end, of course, there was a bit of dew and stuff. He'll want to work on his death bowling, but overall, I'm going to give him 7 out of 10. And then Harbhajan Singh, he just got the one over, so can't really rate him much. But I'll give him 6 on 10. Bowled one over, went for 8 runs. He did his job basically, so can't really rate him. I should put a not available, but I'll go 6 on 10. Hopefully, he'll get more overs. I think he's experienced. His experience, especially in Chennai grounds, will help KKR. So hope to see him bowl a few more overs. But yeah, and then moving on to Varun Chakravarti, I think slightly expensive. He didn't pick up a wicket either. I think he'll want to improve on that. So I'm going to give him 5 on 10. It was an average performance in the middle overs. You want him to pick up wickets or at least drive the runs. He couldn't do either too much, but it was okay considering they had a lot of runs to defend. And then Prasidh Krishna, I think he bowled wonderfully in the power play. He was brilliant, good pace, hint of movement. The delivery to Warner was sensational. Got him caught behind an excellent ball, beat him all ends up. And then he got the wicket of Nabi as well, important wicket just when Nabi hit a boundary before that. So that was a key wicket as well. And yeah, credit to Prasidh Krishna. I'm going to give him 8 out of 10 for his performance. That wraps up the KKR readings. Moving on to the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Let's start with Ridhiman Saha. I'm going to give him 3 out of 10 because, Sunrisers really depend on the start and him and Warner failed to provide that. They both got out early and I think that put them in the back foot. A decent start, 30-40 run starts and Sunrisers would have been in the driver's seat. But I think they'll need to work on that because that's their strength. So I'm going to be harsh because I think that was a crucial point in the game. So 3 out of 10 for Saha. With Warner as well, I'm going to give 3 out of 10. With the captaincy, I don't think he did too much wrong. He did handle the situation good when the players were getting hit. He stayed calm and then they dragged things back because it could have been 200 plus the score. So I think he did well as captain, but batsman is the problem. I think they need Warner to click. Just in this specific game, I'm going to be harsh on him because again, him and Saha they both got out early and that put Hyderabad back on the back foot, and it was always going to be a catch-up game from there. So hopefully he can come back. But yeah, 3 out of 10 for Warner. Manish Pandey, stats were, his score is amazing. Stats show that 61 of 44, 3 sixes, 2 fours. But in the context of the game, I think he was poor because a set batsman needs to work the ball. He batted till the end. If he batted till the end, he should have won the game, I think. And the problem was he couldn't get the boundaries towards the end, and that was the difference. They were 2.5 boundaries short, and he was working the single, double. He's trying to hit, but he just couldn't find the gaps, and I think that's going to be a big worry. Of course, it was a good innings, but in the context of the game, he had to do more. He had to, and I think that's where the game was lost. If you want to be very critical, of course, the power play, Warner Saha. But the thing is, when you're a set batsman, you're seeing the ball so good, he should be depositing those deliveries because the Bairstow was there. I think he would have won the game. So disappointed with Pandey, but it was a good innings. If you just look at it, separately, it was a good innings. Initially started well, but I think as the ball got older, he struggled, and he will have to work on that. And I'm going to give him 6 on 10. It looks harsh. I'm docking a couple of points because I think when a set batsman there, he should lead your side to victory. Johnny Bairstow, I'm going to give him one more mark because I think his innings with Pandey, they both attacked well. That's where I give Pandey credit as well. But Bairstow, the reason I think he played at a certain pace, he got out to a poor ball. He hit it straight to the fielder. It needs to work on that. But I think he gave that impetus. Johnny Bairstow, I'm going to give him one extra mark, 7 out of 10. If he's you could say that why are you giving Bairstow one more mark? But I just feel like his impact was a bit more in this game, and you could tell that KKR were a bit nervous while he was there. And the fact that Manish Pandey stayed till the end, he didn't get out, but he should have provided more. So I'm going to give Johnny Bairstow 7 out of 10. He's in good nick, and let's see if he can continue this form. Moving on to Nabi, I think with the bat he could have provided more, but with the ball he was brilliant. He justified his selection in that way because, he's replacing a huge player in Kane Williamson, but he picked up a couple of wickets. He was on a hat trick. With the bat, they'll want a bit more from him, ideally play the finisher role. So I'm going to give Nabi, let's say 7 out of 10. I think I'm going to give him 7 out of 10 because I think he bowled pretty well. And then moving on to Vijay Shankar, I think, Shankar with the ball, he was expensive, bowled just the one over, and he gave around 14 runs. But with the bat, I expected a bit more from him. Should have stayed till the end. He hit a 6, but, nothing after that. So I'm going to give Shankar 4 out of 10. Expect a bit more from him, especially him and Manish Pandey. They they've played for India. They have the experience, so you want a bit more from them. And then moving on to Abdul Samad, the young Indian batsman, I think he was wonderful. What a knock! He kept Sunrisers in the game. The sixes that he hit off Cummins as well. It was just fantastic. And unfortunately, he couldn't take a side through. But it's a great innings. It'll give Sunrisers a lot of confidence this innings, showing that there is batting in the lower order. There's a lot of talk about the weak middle lower order, but he's a finisher. He's shown that. Just if he came a bit slightly earlier, or if he had a bit more support, I think he could have pulled it off. So I'm gonna give him 7 out of 10. I think he didn't do anything wrong today. It wasn't his fault that they lost, and he has a very bright future, and especially in this format. Moving on to Rashid Khan, I think he was Sunrisers man of the match. Absolutely sensational bowling when everyone was getting tonked all over the ground, averaging 11, 12 runs and over. He went for just 6 runs and over, picked up 2 wickets, and that to a huge wicket of Russell. Picked up Gill as well, and he bowled wonderfully. His variation was brilliant. He slowed his pace down when needed. He bowled the quicker one. He's getting the ball to turn. This pitch assisted him as well, but it was very smart bowling. Rashid Khan for me, 9 out of 10. It was a wonderful performance. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, I think he was poor today, very expensive. Didn't expect that from him in the death as well as the middle overs. Even with the new ball, didn't get any swing. And it's good that he's fit, but he's an experienced bowler. He will come back from this, but it was a poor game from his standards, so I'm going to give him 4 out of 10. Sandeep Sharma, again, he was also poor with the new ball. When the ball doesn't move, he tends to get hit. I think he'll have to come up with a few more things. Yes, he does have a good knuckle ball, but I think he has to be a bit more clever in these situations, and it wasn't his day. So I'm going to give him 4 out of 10. Natarajan, I think he got hit initially, but he came back well. Bowled decent in the death as well, got a wicket. So it was a good comeback from him, but he did get hit initially. So I'm going to give him 5/10. That wraps up the ratings, I think, for both teams. Do comment with what you think, what you would rate the players, and please join us for the next episodes as well. And please like and subscribe to our channel, and hope to see you guys soon. Take care.